had the results for the... We did a poll. This is something that I feel like good to talk about. We did a poll for our content rollout strategy for cycled content. And we released the results of that poll this morning. Those are up on our forums if you'd like to check them out. And I'll at some point later on in the stream, I'll go over them and we can chat, talk about them. What do you guys think? I'll give you the TLDR is that we're basically doing what we initially had planned to do, which is we're releasing almost all of the content to everyone simultaneously, and then a few just one, in this case, very specific little thing, the Pinacle boss, is going to be delayed until someone kills it on cycle. Short version. So everything except for just the Pinacle boss fight itself, just that final fight, will be available for everyone right away. How many more chapters for campaign? 3 chapters are coming to the campaign still total. There will be no new campaign chapters in patch 1.1. 1.2 is going to be getting a new campaign chapter. And that's kind of all the timeline information we've given on when the new campaign chapters are rolling out. But yeah, so then the first of the 3 remaining campaign chapters are coming out next patch after this one that's just about to come out, so 1.2. Is there any new skills / complete reworked skills for 1.1? There are no brand new skills. There's no just skills from scratch. There is there's one skill that's been pretty heavily reworked. We've kind of teased that a little bit already. And there's I would say many skills that have had tweaks and adjustments. Alright, will the meta be mostly the same for 1.1, or is there a good shakeup? It's tricky to know exactly what's going to happen. Playstyles that people have shown us they really enjoy. We're careful not to decimate them completely into the ground type thing compared to the other things that are available. There are some very heavy nerfs on the situations where people are getting into where they're wildly overpowered. But relative to the other builds that are available and the maximum potential as a character you have in the game, it's pretty similar for those super high builds. They're still high up builds. I think you're going to see more newcomers into the scene as far as builds go. That will, I guess, shake things up by just giving more options. Are there any plans for mid-cycle events? Yes, but not yet. That is the sort of thing that we are really interested in doing. We don't have any specifics on what those will be or when they'll happen yet. But yeah, having mid-cycle events is something that's interesting to us. Especially if there's some event that's happening that we can line it up and coincide with. I think that's the sort of thing that we'll start to do more once we're in that steady rhythm, that steady pace. Yeah. Are WASD being worked on, or is it part of the plans in the long road? I know there's some animation things that you would have to consider if you do. It's still in the maybe category right now. Forge Guard has been voted for the first teaser reveal. There we go. All right, so here's a node in 15 points in Forge Guard to get to it. It gives you 10% increased critical strike chance with 2-handed weapons per point, up to 8 points. And at 5-point threshold, you get 1% critical strike multiplier per 2 strength with 2-handed weapons. So a little bit wordy there, but so it's really pushing crit and crit multi with 2-handed weapons on strength focused characters. Not what I'm doing now. Will there be MTX for Shapeshift soon? Not soon, but yes. And so even just perma Ice Bear looking at the same thing all the time, just boring, and I would throw money at you. Thanks for wanting to throw money at us. I like that. Of all the things to be thrown at you, it's one of the best. Yeah, it does affect your overall visual experience more than non-transform builds, because you do change as you level. So that is a good point. I hadn't thought of that before, really. The entire skill MTX system isn't built yet, so we've got to build that first before we can start doing it. I'd like to ask if there are specific accessibility options planned for visually impaired players, such as customizable color masks that can offer high contrast between background characters, NPC, and mob, and any points of interest of interactable objects. Not for 1.1. We are in the process of sort of figuring out what accessibility options we can add to the game. It is something that we are aware is a weak point of the game, and we do want to improve it. So it is something that we are. Just accessibility options in general, like even things as like little as like arachnophobia mode, because that bothers a lot of people. So yeah, there are accessibility options that we are working on. I don't think there's many that are ready to go yet, unfortunately. But we are working on it. The new content for 1.1, everything that is in 1.1, absolutely everything other than the very final Pinacle boss fight, just that one final boss fight, everything other than that is available to everyone simultaneously as 1.1 launches. So 1.1 drops, and everything included to 1.1, except for just the final boss fight, is available for everyone right away. Online, offline, cycle, legacy, softcore, hardcore, solo, everything. The final boss, the Pinacle boss fight, that will need to be completed by anyone playing on the cycle at all. So whether you're cycle, like so online cycle, single player, or like online solo, not solo, hardcore, softcore, as long as you're playing online cycle and someone completes it, staff don't count, and some of the testers don't count either. As soon as that happens, the next day, when like the next working day, we'll get up in the morning, someone beat the boss, great, and we flip a flag and everyone gets access to the boss. Offline gets it, legacy gets it, all that sort of stuff. So I think that there's the big like we can talk about the reason why we're doing this, and like there's a big article we posted this morning about why we're doing this, and goes into like we set out a poll recently to ask the community what they thought about these options. And I guess the one thing that I really want to stress with this decision is that this is the decision we've made for 1.1, and we are very interested in your feedback for how this goes with 1.1 and what you experienced and how it affected you and what you felt when it happened. Like, and I think that a huge number of and our prediction on this might be wrong. We'll see what happens. I think that there's going to be a few people who push really hard to do this really quickly on cycle, and it's going to be beaten and released to everyone pretty quick. My estimate's 3 days. That's my personal estimate. Do you think there will be couch co-op with consoles when that someday happens? I would love to. Did it not work? Couch co-op in consoles. Yeah, I think there's room for that. I think that was a huge part of Diablo 3's success on console, was the couch co-op options. I would love to add that in. I don't think that's likely to be initial scope for consoles. Personally, be wrong. but I think that's, I don't think that's the initial scope version of consoles. I think that's version 2 on consoles, you know? But we got our next teaser, the faction teaser. So here's COF rank 7. Boom. So regardless of corruption, is there anything planned besides nerfing overperforming builds? Because right now, even non-meta builds like a Racing Strike and Lich Death Seal can reach 1,000 plus corruption with just OP gear. Or you nerf 70% of the builds in the game. I think there's some pretty heavy, there's nerfs and buffs all over the place. So there's that. There are other things that increase the difficulty of like just new challenges that show up as well. Alright, are we getting more unique armor skin models? There are new armor skin models. I don't know if they're tied specifically to uniques. I know there's new weapon 3D models. I assume we're talking about 1.1 specifically. Is there more changes coming to COF in 1.1 besides level 710 rank? Oh yeah, lots more. And MG2. Like there are of like all of the factions in 1.1, there are a total of more new things than old things. Like of the rank rewards. Of all the factions in 1.1, there's more new rank rewards than old.